for this video is just to give a brief overview of the different Microsoft Office 365 applications or applications that you can use with your Office 365 account. For most of them, I have categorized them by where they are available, but there are two that are available in multiple spots, and because of how they work and they connect with other applications, I have separated them to the top. The first one is OneDrive, and OneDrive is your cloud file storage, and it's going to connect with PowerPoint, Word, Excel, OneNote notebook, and any kind of items that you make within those programs can be saved back into OneDrive. There is a mobile app for OneDrive, so you could get to your files from a mobile device. You do have the web application, so if you sign into Office 365 on the web, you can click on OneDrive and then see your files from there as well and access them. Then the other thing within our district is that we do have your desktop, documents, and pictures folders syncing to OneDrive as well. So even though there's not a desktop application per se, like you would see with Word or PowerPoint, it is still working with your desktop files. The other item that would be similar here would be SharePoint. SharePoint is going to be our district's intranet site, which means it's an internal site that you would have to have a USD 475 Office account to access. So these sites and pages are going to be limited to staff and students who have that Office 365 email address. With SharePoint, you're also going to see documents stored here, similar to what you would think of with OneDrive. But these would be documents that you would probably have shared in a Microsoft team, and then they basically get stored on a SharePoint page that belongs to that team. Starting with our other applications, we do have some desktop-only applications. The first one is Access Database here. And then we have Microsoft Publisher. And you may have used Publisher in the past to make posters, cards, or other items like that. Then we have our applications that are available on the desktop, the web, and mobile. So they're basically available everywhere. And this is going to be Word, PowerPoint, Excel, Outlook. Then you also have OneNote Notebook, which is going to basically be a digital binder or notebook that you can use to collaborate with others. You can add things into tabs. They can add them into tabs and pages as well. And then you have Microsoft Teams, which is going to be a collaboration space where you can form a group or a team of people, and you can have conversations back and forth. You can also do live video conferencing using the Teams app. And then you can do file sharing as well. And if you drop a file into the team, anybody who's part of that team can collaborate on that document. Another item here would be Microsoft Power BI. This is going to be a data analysis tool. Right now, not everybody has access to this. This is mainly going to be more on an instructional coach or an admin side. The last one, and this is the tool that I'm using right now actually, is Microsoft Whiteboard. And this is a whiteboard that you can use for collaboration. You can see up here at the top that I can add more individuals if I want. It also has the desktop, the web, mobile app. One thing to note with most of these applications in this area is that if there is a desktop and a web app, usually your desktop app has more options and more functionality than that web application. Under web and mobile applications, the first one that we have is Microsoft Stream. And this is a video repository similar to what you would see with YouTube, except it's going to be secure to our district staff and students. So if you upload a video to Microsoft Stream, you can share it out with people, but it's going to be limited to those within our district who can see it. Next to that is Microsoft To Do, and this is a to-do list application. And this is going to allow you to make to-do lists for different items and then give you suggestions on what you should complete based on due dates and priority. Down here is Office Lens. Office Lens is a mobile app that allows you to take a picture of documents, whiteboards, presentations, other pieces of information. And then it will straighten the image and turn it into a JPEG or a PDF file. For example, if you were collaborating with a bunch of people on a whiteboard, you could pull out Office Lens, and even if you're pointed at an angle to the whiteboard, you could take the picture and it would straighten the text on the whiteboard and everything. Then you could send that to Microsoft Teams, and other people would be able to see that picture as well in your collaboration space. Next to Office Lens is Delve. And Delve is basically a tool that's going to show you what are the top documents you are working on and who are your top people that you're collaborating with in the last so many days. Next, we have Bookings. And Bookings is a tool that allows people to book appointments with you. It runs off of your Outlook calendar. So if you have meetings already on your calendar, it's going to block that time off. But then they can go in and self-select a time to meet with you, and it'll send you and them an email confirming that meeting time. Next to that is Planner. And Planner is made to take projects and break them down into parts and pieces. You can share that planner with other people so that you can all work on a project together and assign tasks to different individuals. And then as they get completed, you can move them from the to-do to the doing or the done category. And then you can see who's ahead on tasks and who's behind on tasks. Yammer is kind of a social media platform is how they describe it. Think of it like a chat area. People can post information there. It is open to all of USD 475. I actually have not used Yammer too much, and I don't know of too many people who have used Yammer that much in education. Next to Yammer, see if I can get this one here, is Power Automate. This used to be called Microsoft Flow. And basically you can set up an automation task. So something like you get an email with an attachment, that it automatically takes that attachment and puts it into a OneDrive folder for you. Now that's just an example of something you can automate. There's lots of different features. You could set it up for all different kinds of automated steps. If a post in this blog gets posted here, I want an email about it type of thing. So there's lots of options for automating using Power Automate. Then we have Microsoft Kaseya, which from what I have seen is a group messaging tool. We're not using this right now. I don't know that I see us using this in the future either, but you'll see this in your Office 365 area. Now on web-only applications, so you're only going to get to these from within Office 365. You're going to have Sway, which is a little different than what a PowerPoint is, but it's basically an online presentation. These presentations that you make with Sway are meant to be seen on mobile devices where you kind of slide through them with hand gestures and movements. Next to Sway, we have Microsoft Forms. So if you would like to create a survey form, Microsoft Forms is a great way to get information from people. You can also do like short quizzes and things to that nature with Microsoft Forms. This next little icon is My Analytics, and this is going to give you insights about your work habits. So are you answering a lot of emails after hours? How fast do you typically answer emails? That kind of information. So under Other, we have some other interesting Microsoft tools. Most of them are going to use your Microsoft Office 365 account, but they don't necessarily have to, and they wouldn't be Office 365 applications on their own. This first one that we have is Microsoft Math Solver, and this is a website, but it's also a mobile app where individuals can put in a math problem, and then Math Solver is going to show them how to solve it step by step. So it doesn't show them just the end answer, but it actually breaks down the math problem so they can see how it was solved and maybe help them figure out where they made a mistake. Next to that, we have the Office 365 mobile app, which is now meant to take the place of, I believe, PowerPoint, Word, Excel, and OneDrive, so that instead of having each one of those applications separately as mobile apps, they're all in one spot. This one with a lock is Microsoft Authenticator. And what an Authenticator app is going to do is when you go to sign in to Office 365, the mobile app is going to pop up and say, is this really you? And so it serves as an extra security layer to make sure that somebody else isn't accessing your Microsoft Office account. Next to that, we have Translator, which is going to be a great tool for ELL students and then working with others that may not have English as their first language. You can use Microsoft Translator with the microphone to translate somebody who is speaking to you or you're speaking to them. You can also type in text to Microsoft Translator and have it translate that text. You can take a picture of a document, and it can be handwritten, but the handwriting needs to be nice for it to be able to translate it. But you can take a picture of a document and have it translate the wording on the document as well. And then you can also, if both people have the mobile app, with the text part, you can basically text back and forth and it will translate the messages based on what that individual selects as their dominant language. The last one that we have here is Microsoft Soundscape. And this is made for those that may be visually impaired. And what you can do is you can select a location and it basically puts an audible marker on that location. And so you can use your phone or your mobile device to get dings to your earbud. So depending on where you're walking and turning, your phone would ding to tell you you are going in the right direction. And supposedly it's also going to call out street and road names and locations as well as you're walking around. So it's kind of an interesting new tool that's coming out. But this is kind of a broad overview of just all the different Microsoft Office 365 applications and then a few fun extras that Microsoft has developed.